Okay, okay.
All right.
So back in 2000, Heidi and I took this trip to Kauai, and it was awesome. It's the first time I had been to Hawaii, and it is I haven't been since, but I know we will be going again. There were a lot of things that happened. We found this guest house that was awesome. It was right on the beach. I'm not normally a morning person, but every morning I woke up by 6, hearing the ocean and ready to get up and take on the day. It was just awesome. The first thing that Heidi insisted on doing, because she had been a couple of times before as a younger kid, and then I think again maybe later with her family, but one of the first things she insisted on was that our rental car be convertible, because it would be so worth it there to have a convertible, and I'm sure glad she insisted. I would definitely recommend that to anybody who takes a trip to Hawaii. Just being able to drive around and always have the open sky. You'll be able to take in the fresh island air, and it was incredible. So, we did several things. We snorkeled, we just hung out on the beach, we drove around the island and took in some of the sights. One of the main things we did was whale watching, and I remember when Heidi first suggested we do this. She had done this when she came to Hawaii with her family when she was younger, and it was quite memorable for her, so she wanted us to do this. And I was resistant at first because you go out on a raft, basically. It's Zodiac raft is what they call it, and I've seen these rafts for whitewater rafting. I'm a mountain girl. I've been whitewater rafting, and on a river that makes sense to me. But I have to admit, when she said that we were going to go out on one of these river rafts on the ocean, I was a little nervous. I don't know. It just seemed to be so small for such a large body of water, and not only that, but to go out whale watching. I mean, whales, I'm sure a whale would be, 3 times the size of the raft, so I was a little intimidated. But we went for it. She convinced me, and I'm always up for an adventure. So we made the reservation, and one of the coolest things was that it was just us. Nobody else had booked a trip this particular day, so it was just Heidi, me, and the guide. So it was kind of like a private whale watching adventure, which was awesome. So he took us, all around. They have a typical route that they go, and they have certain pods of whales that they track, and all of that sort of thing. One of the ways that you look for whales is you lean over. They give you a snorkel mask and the breathing tube. I can't think what it's called. The snorkel thing, mouthpiece, and you lean over the raft so your head is immersed in the water with the mask and the snorkel, and you watch for whales underneath your raft. I had never even thought that you would look for whales under the water. I would always, what my experience has been is on those large boats where you would look out on the horizon and see whales, breaching or jumping or that sort of thing. So we would do this every once in a while, and it was a challenge for me. One, because I've just never done this kind of thing. I'm not much of a water girl that way. I don't have a lot of upper body strength, and so leaning over the raft like that, I had to put my legs up too. I couldn't reach to sort of station myself. So I'm sure it was quite entertaining, and we have some stories about that process that I won't go into now. But it was a lot of fun, and we ended up seeing 3 whales go past right underneath us, which was incredible. One of them looked up, and I mean, it was just, I can't even explain how amazing it felt having a whale look into a whale's eyes. It was pretty incredible. So we did that, and we saw several whales and at jumping and that sort of thing. Then the guide took us to a special cove where it's a white sand beach, and we got to swim, and we did some snorkeling, and I remember seeing a sea turtle. It was wonderful. So after the tour was done, we came back and we're getting ready to head back to our guest house in the rental car. Well, we couldn't find the keys, and Heidi insisted that I had them, which I did not. Fortunately, we're both pretty easygoing, so we backtracked and kept thinking back to where the keys were. I remembered that she had them last, indeed, and that she had put them in her front zipper pouch on her pullover. Like, she had a little windbreaker, and it had a zipper pouch in the front. So we went to look there, and lo and behold, it was empty. There were no keys. There had been change there earlier. There was no change. So after a little more thinking, we decided, or came to the conclusion, that the keys had likely fallen out while Heidi was leaning over the side of the raft watching for whales. So the keys were probably somewhere out in the ocean, floating around, or reached the floor of the ocean by now. So, like I said, fortunately we're both pretty easygoing. Neither one of us panicked. Heidi found a nearby payphone and called the rental car company and asked for somebody to bring us a spare key. We got the feeling that this had happened before. They didn't seem too surprised, so they said they'd be right out with a spare key to just hang tight. And we decided to make the best of it. It was about sunset, so we went over, and there was a nearby picnic area, and just kind of sat on a picnic table, and we had a soda and just enjoyed the sunset while we waited for the spare key. In hindsight, it's entertaining. It's something we will never forget. Not only the whale watching experience, but also our little struggle with finding the keys and having to have the guys bring out the spare.